Hi, this is Tyler Hendricks, and I'm doing my video report on the St. Johns River and the massive amounts of nitrogen that's crippling its ecosystems. The St. Johns River is one of only two northern flowing rivers in the world, second only to the Nile River in Egypt. The St. Johns River is considered the longest river in the state of Florida. It spans roughly 310 miles from Vero Beach, Florida, to its mouth located in Jacksonville, Florida. The slow-flowing river empties directly in the Atlantic Ocean, where its nutrients fuel a diverse food web, which is comprised of marine life such as red drum, black-tip sharks, wild pink mayport shrimp, and countless species of phytoplankton and zooplankton. Since the Industrial Revolution, the St. Johns River has been used as a dumping ground for manufacturers and municipalities alike, dumping waste including sewage, heavy metals, and used oils. The abuse of the river has led to the EPA designation of over 7 Superfund sites in Jacksonville alone. The river's health is not just important in terms of ecological purposes, but also important for preserving a community's culture and economy. Since the implementation of the Clean Water Act in 1972, the federal government has enacted regulations that protect the bodies of water throughout the United States, ultimately banning the dumping of hazardous waste in our waterways. Unfortunately, there are loopholes that still allow for municipalities, the federal government, and corporations to pollute our fragile waterways. The St. Johns River, much like many other rivers in the world, are being crippled by massive amounts of algae blooms that literally starve the river of oxygen, creating a graveyard of massive amounts of dead sea life. These algae blooms are generally caused by excessive amounts of nitrogen runoff from the agricultural industry. But the algae blooms in the St. Johns River have a much more sinister source for their pollutants. In 2007, Florida legislation banned the dumping of organic biosolids or human sludge into the Okeechobee River, citing a massive degradation of marine life due to algae blooms. The state then relocated the dumping of the biosolids to a site located at the upper basin of the St. Johns River, claiming the human waste is being used as an economical form of fertilizer for the local agricultural industry. Now, instead of the nitrogen-filled human waste ravaging southern Florida's ecosystems, it now wreaks havoc on northern Florida's waterways, causing massive algae blooms that are decimating the fragile ecosystems. The massive amounts of nitrogen in the dump sewage act as a catalyst, allowing for the species of blue-green algae to grow at uncontrolled rates. This blue-green algae then consumes the majority of the oxygen in the waterways, causing massive loss of life to both flora and fauna. The massive algae blooms also block sunlight from any of the marine plants, hindering their photosynthesis process. On average, the state and private contractors annually dump roughly 70,000 tons of sewage sludge within the upper basin of the St. Johns River, which includes Brevard, Indian River, and Osceola counties, which equates to around 72% of the allotted Class B biosolid waste allowed to be dumped in the state. This uptake of nitrogen has been causing algae blooms for years in the St. Johns, but scientists are worried it could turn into a super bloom often seen in the Okeechobee, the same river these biosolids have been diverted from. This massive uptake of nitrogen in the St. Johns is not the only concern regarding the dumping of human waste in the waterways. Disease-causing bacteria such as cholera and a flesh-eating strain of cholera are also present in the St. Johns River. Vibrio vulnificus, also known as flesh-eating bacteria, has killed over 5 people in the St. Johns River over the past 15 years and has infected countless others. The river is filled with so much bacteria that has advised that children, the elderly, and people with compromised immune systems avoid the river entirely and only eat cooked seafood that is harvested from the river. So that is the end of the report. As you can see, there's a huge issue with the St. Johns River and the dumping of human waste. There are currently around 5 nonprofit organizations working to get this problem solved. But as to date, they still haven't been successful. I appreciate it, and thank you.